Fashion Mumblr. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to create this autumn smoky eye makeup look. Let's get started. I'm going to start off by using the illuminator from Estee Lauder. This is just going to give my complexion a really lovely radiance. I'm all about the glow at all times of the year, so I'm just dotting that on my skin, not too much product, and I'm using my fingers to blend this one in. So that's just the perfect starting point for my makeup. It's going to help my makeup look glowing all day long. For my foundation, one of my long-time favourites is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So I'm going to apply this on the back of my hand and then blend it in using a makeup brush. So I like to just use circular motions to buff it in, and this gets a really nice coverage, nothing too heavy. I don't want it to be cakey, I just want to get a gorgeous, natural looking glow. So I'm just buffing this into my hairline and in my jawline as well. We don't want any telltale signs. And once that's all blended in, I'm just going to reach for some concealer for those areas that need a little bit of extra coverage and brightening. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm just going to pop a little bit underneath my eyes, not too much. And once again, I'm going to use my finger to blend this in, and I find that the warmth from my skin just helps it to blend really naturally with the foundation. If I'm using the concealer for any blemishes, I like to pop a little bit just on the back of my hand, and then this stops anything from spreading. So I'm taking my ring finger and just applying this on any areas, like on my chin, where I need a little bit of extra coverage. So for me, an autumn makeup look is all about the features such as the eyes or the lips. I don't want too much attention on the base. So once that's perfected, I'm just going to finish it off with some of my favourite powder. For my powder, I'm using one of my favourites. It's the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. From World Duty Free, you can get this travel exclusive, which comes with a very handy brush, perfect for popping in your handbag. One of the reasons why I love the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder is that it doesn't get rid of the glow, and it just helps your complexion look really lovely and natural all day long while keeping your makeup perfectly set in place. So I like to tap a little bit of the product into the lid, swirl my brush around, tap off the excess, and then just apply it on any areas where you don't want any shine developing throughout the day. So I like to apply the powder on my T-zone, and then also just sweeping it under my eyes where I've applied the concealer, and this will help the makeup stay in place all day. So I never feel like myself until I've got a little bit of colour on my complexion, and my favourite bronzer has always been the Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder. It just gives you that fresh from holiday glow, which I absolutely love. I'm using a domed brush, and I'm just going to apply this to my face in the areas that the sun would naturally catch my complexion. So on the top of my forehead, on my cheeks as well, just going really, really lightly, because you can always build it up, but it's not so easy to take it down if you do apply too much. So just apply with a light hand, once again going under the chin, down the neck a little bit too, and then sweeping over the whole complexion just to give you that lovely, fresh bronzed look. I always like to put a tiny bit more bronzer just underneath the cheekbone. I'm not a pro at contouring, so I find that this just gives my face a little bit more of a natural shape, but without the boldness of a full-on contour. Next, we're going to do the brows. I'm using a new product from Benefit. This is their brow styler, and in the top here you've got a brow pencil. I always like to just warm the pencil up on the back of my hand first, and then outline underneath the brow's natural shape. So just using really fine hair-like strokes, following the natural shape of the brow, and then filling in any areas where we need a little bit more coverage. So that just helps to create a more filled in, voluminous brow look. And then I love to finish off with, again from Benefit, their 24-hour brow setter. This has got a really fantastic little brush, so you can really sweep it through the brows, almost like combing them through, and it sets them in place, as well as just adding a little bit of volume and structure to the brows. So I just like to brush them upwards to catch all the brow hairs, and then sweep them down to neaten them off. The final thing I'm going to do for my complexion is just add a little bit of colour to my cheeks. I absolutely love this shade from By Terry. It's the Choco Vanilla from their Compact Expert Dual Powder. And this is the perfect, slightly browny autumnal shade. I absolutely love using it this time of the year. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the more browny shade with this duo fibre brush, wiping off any excess on my hands and then just applying to the apples of my cheeks. And you can just finish off with this colour pop in the middle, which acts like a little bit of a very natural highlight just on top of the cheekbones. The fact that this is almost 2 products in one makes it great for travelling, and you've also got the mirror in the lid too, so perfect for those top-ups when you're on the go. Now we're moving on to the fun bit. I'm going to be creating a really beautiful soft brown smoky eye. The palette that I'm going to be using is a travel exclusive. It's from Bare Minerals, and this is the Suede Neutrals palette. It has so many gorgeous tones inside, perfect for both an everyday look, if you just like a soft brown, but then you've also got some deeper shades and some shimmering shades in here as well, so perfect for the upcoming party season and just a more dramatic smoky eye. So first of all, I'm going to create an even base across the whole eyelid, and I'm using the shade Saddle. Again, just tapping off any excess product, and then I'm going to sweep this all over the eyelid. And I'm bringing the shade all the way up to just underneath the brow bone. This is just a really lovely natural shade, not too far from my skin colour, so it creates the perfect base to begin your smoky eye. Next I want something just a little bit darker that I'm going to apply to the crease, and this will really help to define the eye area. So I'm using this shade next to it, which is just a little bit deeper. Once again, tapping off any excess and keeping my eye open. I'm going to use almost like a half moon shape just to create a little bit of definition around the eye. Don't worry if the colours come off a little bit bold to start with. We're going to blend everything together at the end. So next I'm going to be taking a fresh brush because I want to apply a lighter shade just underneath the brow arch, and this is really going to help to open up the eye area. When you're using slightly darker shades in autumn, it can really close the eye up, so I find that just by highlighting underneath the brow, it just helps my eye area to still look really bright and awake. You can also use this brush in this shade just to tidy up any areas underneath where perhaps you didn't want any darker shadow. And then we'll pop this brush to the side for blending a little bit later on. Because no matter what makeup look I'm doing, I love to get a little bit of pink in there, and it'll also help to draw together the whole look with the blush and the eye. I'm taking this very soft pink shade from the Bare Minerals Suede Neutrals palette, and I'm just going to apply this in the middle of the lid. This has got a really lovely natural sheen to it, so again it just helps to bring that glow into the whole look. Now for the fun bit, just going to blend everything together until all the colours merge into a really beautiful smoked out eye. Don't be afraid to use your fingers if there's any areas where you've got a little bit too much shadow. So for me, this would be the perfect everyday eye. You could always go in with a slightly deeper shade if you want to make the look a little bit more dramatic. I prefer to keep my makeup a little bit more on the natural side, but one thing I do love to do is take a slightly thinner brush on one of the darker shades and press that in close to the lash line, which almost gives the look of an eyeliner, but without the harshness of a black liner. So I'm taking a slanted brush in the deepest shade from the palette, and I'm going to press this as close as I can possibly get to my lash line. You'll notice I'm using more of a pressing motion as opposed to a blending motion, and that's because I'm really just trying to pack in as much product as I can as close to the lashes as possible. You can even take it down to the lower lash line as well. This is a really great trick if you forget your mascara as well, because it instantly adds so much more definition to your lashes. I feel like this is a really good before and after. You can see how much more defined the lashes look on this side where I've pressed in the powder, as opposed to this side which doesn't have any. If you want to take this look from day to night, this palette also has a beautiful gold shimmery shade, which sometimes I just like to pop right in the middle, and this adds a very subtle but beautiful sheen and glow to the middle of the eyes. I find this palette really great for popping in the handbag, so if you do find yourself going from day to night, then that's a fantastic way to just alter your makeup and make it a little bit more party appropriate. For the mascara, I'm using another travel exclusive. This is the Bare Minerals Lash Domination. You get 2 mascaras in here in the shade Intense Black, which is perfect to finish off an autumn smoky eye and get the boldest lash look possible. I'm going to show you the brush on this because that for me is the best thing about this mascara. You can see the brush has a little bit of a twist to it and really stiff bristles, which helps just to capture every single lash and ensure they're all coated perfectly with mascara. A quick squeeze first with the lash curler. And then I'm just combing the mascara through to catch every single lash. And you can see instantly how it fans out the lashes, giving a beautiful, almost doe-eyed look and never clumpy. This mascara also dries really quickly, so if you do want a slightly more intense lash look, you can go in for a second coat just to build up an even more voluminous lash. One thing that I love to do to finish off an eye look is just to add a really beautiful shimmering shade into the corners. Once again, this can help make the eye look a little bit more open and awake, and a perfect finishing touch if you do have a party to attend. This is the Luxe Eyeshadow Rich Sparkle from Bobbi Brown, and I'm just taking a little bit on my little finger and popping it into the corners. So you can see that really beautifully just gives a fresh, open look to the eyes. So the finishing touch is the lips, and I'm going to be using the Dior Addict Lip Tattoo. This is a long wear coloured tint, so no matter how long you're wearing the look for, all day, all night, this is going to stay in place and give you the most beautiful autumnal tone. I'm using the shade 421 Imperial Beige, which is a beautiful, almost dusky brown shade, perfect for an autumn makeup look. So this almost gives the lips a stain of colour. It looks really natural, but still a beautiful bold colour that perfectly completes the look. So that is my autumn smoky eye makeup look. Thank you so much for watching.